MVP look like? What should next 5 years of the product look like? You can build something like that, and that in itself will kind of help you build that proper product sense, and you can start documenting that as some of the resources that you kind of put into your portfolio. You know, um, some of these you can actually even write on it will be like user stories. User stories are typically unending, so I'll just expect to just write a little bit. Wireframes if you are working B2C or working on, or you're thinking of something that would probably lead to an application or anything of sort. Also, if you have friends that are designers or even developers, you guys can actually come together and say, let us build something very simple, and you would lead the project as a PM. They will develop it, and the designer will kind of work on like the UI UX side of things, and that is your product, But the documentation, the process, the story is what will transition into what you use to kind of land the job and speak to your confidence when you're actually engaging with your hiring managers subsequently. Right. Another thing would be, like I mentioned earlier, would be like case studies. But in this sense, case study would be you could do like, you can do something like, let's say, a product tear down, and your tear down has to be something that's actually quite trendy and most people would know. I wouldn't expect you to pick a product that your prospective recruiter would not have an idea of. If you do a tear down, do a proper case study and proper analysis of what you're actually doing, product problem statements, the target users, proposed solution, the user persona, even if they're actually even a different market and you're trying to pitch their solution into a different market, having to repurpose a product. You can work on something like that and be shared on social media or just document it somewhere, Medium and things like that. Just journal some of these things and share your knowledge out there. You kind of start building this your credibility and confidence, subsequently. Social media is actually one great tool. I use that for some of my connections here from LinkedIn. I try to like put out stuff every day. As a product manager, I would encourage you to do that as well. Put out your product sense, talk about products, have a community, set a challenge for yourself. Have like do peer review of products or features. One interesting product I think I found today was, I forgot the name of the brand, but I think Meta is trying to release a glass that is priced at $399 and it's very stylish. And it's promised I think 3K resolution on the glass. You will kind of do a peer review with your mates and say, what do you think of this particular glass? Particularly from angle of pair of glasses as a fashion accessory, not necessarily a tech accessory per se. Do you think it's going to sell well? What could they have done better? Should we be going to a world where the phones are screenless? Because I think there's a product around the corner that's going to launch soon, screenless phones, fully AI driven mobile phones without screens. Should they be building something else other than what they built, and make like just kind of make predictions, document these predictions, and when it comes to life, go back there and say, yes, I said it. I actually experienced something very similar recently around one feature I proposed sometimes last year. I think I wrote on my LinkedIn as well. I'm about changing the way fashion industry works when you can do digital try on a product. Imagine if you could take a picture of yourself and this AI could kind of map out your size, your body shape, and every time you log on to, let's say, Adidas or Zara, anywhere, it's just going to pick your face, and all of the clothes on the website will become your face, and you can then see how you look in all of those pieces. And you can go into like a digital try on fitting room to kind of put clothes together and things like that. Speak about all these good ideas with your friends, pen it down, put it on Medium, LinkedIn. Someone might just reach out to you that they love what you're talking about and they might need to get you on board for that. These things happen, so you need to kind of document your thoughts on social media, particularly LinkedIn and Medium. Volunteer and collaborate. I've spoken about collaboration already, so I'll say volunteering. It could be short term, since it's actually most likely not going to be gainful. It's just going to be like pro bono in most cases. But if you're trying to like break into product management, look for volunteering opportunities. Volunteering could mean you shadowing a project manager that is current, or a product manager currently working on live projects. It could mean your friend that is just starting that startup and saying, you know what, let me just help you. I'll be giving you 10 hours of mine, 10 hours every week of my time to kind of manage your team and come up with right documents for you. And that's where the rates document, project charter document, product sign or feature sign of document could come into play, and you start learning how to kind of own your skills in that regard. Also boot camps, yeah, and I believe a couple of us are actually from Enoverlabs. So for those of you guys actually there, I think you're on the right path already. So join boot camps, learn as much as possible. You need the academic experience as well to be able to kind of solutionize once you're actually on the road. So it is key. Yeah. Spoken about shadowing a PM already. Break down public problems. Yeah. This one is actually key. I think I mentioned it slightly as well. You can kind of customize whatever you're actually writing on all of these platforms to be problems everybody's actually facing on daily basis in Lagos. A good example would be the fact that a lot of people are bringing in an electric tricycle to Lagos, but nobody is building a particular, I don't think I've seen anything that speaks to a platform where they can kind of track where every tricycle is at every point in time, and a place where you not necessarily order, but where you can actually kind of protect your, it could be like a protection app for whoever is actually looking to go into such business for like about 50 to 100 of those tricycle. How best do you kind of manage this charge status of each and every battery at this station points that you can integrate into like the business to say if your bike is actually running very low, go to this nearest spot, and creating all these fancy and nice features that could go live with it, and looking at it from a broader perspective, that could the state be invested in this? Could that kind of resolve traffic problems? As a PM, you should have all this creative thinking and creative ways of actually solving some of these problems. So you could kind of document things like that. Yeah. And the last one would be build your portfolio and also like journal. I mentioned that already. So all of this would actually fit into that major portfolio you're looking at building. Any question up to this point? Because I only have one more key point to go over. Yes, Shion.
Yeah, good evening, Joseph. How are you doing? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank you for all you are doing, and I really appreciate it. I have a question concerning that. As a product manager, we don't really need to focus on tech, tech basic or oriented atmosphere. You mentioned about somebody picking a story about maybe Jump. That's as a product manager, you can easily pick a topic and you can be able to create a roadmap, create PRG, and you can be able to provide a solution. So on LinkedIn, for instance, so somebody can just pick any topic that you make research, you create roadmap, you create a PRG, and you can be able to create a solution, and you can be posting it on LinkedIn. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
It came initially as a question, but it later turned into like commentary. You might go over the last bit of your question again.
Like the problem that people are facing in Nigeria. Maybe I just use that Jump as a case study. That somebody picking that particular project or picking that particular industry that, oh, this is the problem that Jump are facing, and as a product manager, this is what I can be able to do for you. Can somebody be can somebody, and maybe your friends or your team, can somebody be picking that particular topic and be providing solution and be posting it on LinkedIn?
Exactly, yes. Just to give more context to what you just said, there was a recent problem around, I think I read it about Jump inaccuracies in their result and things like that. Akinola, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. That's actually a major problem in the country, and everybody's interested in reading about any possible solutions. If you have background in, let's say, cybersecurity, QA, development, design, you should be picking up that as one of the case studies you'll be working on. So yes, it's an example of what I'm actually advising you could do. So as a product manager, you could be working on different features that has to do with, because it's actually a very big system. So you won't have just one PM. It's not possible you have one PM. So whatever is your background is where you should be writing from. Yes, Shion, thanks for the question.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Akinola Titilayo, over to you. Titilayo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Hi, Joseph. Thank you so much for the insightful value you've been giving us. Okay, so you talked about building a portfolio, right? I think I transitioned into product management last year. I don't know, I just came across your post on LinkedIn and I've been following you.
Thank you.
So yeah, so about building portfolio. Currently I'm interning, but I still don't really know how to, build my portfolio with what I am actually learning and gaining from the internship. So I don't really know how it works or how I should go about it. So that's what the question I have now.
Okay. For more context, where do you work and what do you do currently?
So actually, it's a paid internship. It's I don't know if you know Interpol.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, I know them.
we like project together with backend guys, front-end guys, and I work with DAs. So but I'm actually working back to back. Okay, if I don't know about Postman, all the stuff where you can test your product out. But now I get to like have understanding of some of the things I don't know before I joined the internship. But now I've actually stopped applying for jobs because I just felt like let me just focus on this product management training and all. But
Mm.
I still want to build my portfolio in the process because let's say a company reach out to me now and say they want to use my service and I don't have anything to offer to them as number one. So number two, this one just popped in my mind. How can we, how can we volunteer for product management jobs? Because if I come to your DM and say, hi, this I want to volunteer for you, would you really, really give me that job? Because it's actually very easy to fill, but to get that job, there is a problem.
Okay. Two questions. Okay. So the first one is, how do you build your portfolio? So I'll just take that as what does a good portfolio look like? So I'll be reframing that. That's one. And two, volunteering opportunities. Is that correct? Right. So the first one, building proper portfolio, right? It sounds like a buzzword or like a fancy word, but portfolio has to do with what do you do on a daily basis? What documents have you worked on for the team? Are you doing like a comparative analysis for the team? Are you doing like did you document like the PRD? Did you work on rates? Are you putting like do you work on like the user stories? Once you comb everything together, do you have like a proper like products problem statement put together for it? Once you have all of those things put together, pack everything into one strong PDF. And I'm not talking about like some 5, 6 pages. Detailed work, 15 to 20 pages, you know, put it together where you need to kind of plot your graphs, where the data you use to support some of the decisions or the feature that has to go live, the roadmap that you follow to achieve it. All of those things, once you put it together, you have a very strong portfolio for that particular project you're working on. And I think that'll be the most valuable thing you ever get out of that internship. Not just the experience, because you need to be able to kind of prove the experience somewhere else. So you need to be building a portfolio as an output for the current internship. I don't know what the current project is, but whatever document you've worked on, whatever experience you've actually garnered on it, whatever feedback loop you've created, whatever sequence of meeting you've actually planned, whatever number of people you have, the team you worked with, you need to be documenting that, and that would feed into portfolio that you're actually looking for. So that's one. Number two, volunteering. It boils down to how you sell yourself. If you sell yourself as and as a free executive assistant, people will listen to you more. But you're a product manager. I can see you are doing this amazing work on this. I don't mind actually supporting 10 hours, 20 hours weekly, your team. It's totally free. While I'm still trying to kind of learn something or whatever way you choose to put your email. But just let them know it is for free. And so hours are the hours you're willing to commit. And these are the values you're able to bring. If you do it that way, you most likely get somebody to kind of give you a chance. I wouldn't think it's actually that complex. And if it's getting difficult, work with your network. Somebody knows somebody that is building something. Thank you. Just so we don't deviate, let me speak on the last one, which is some of the key myths about becoming a product manager. So we'll speak about the truth and we'll also talk about like the myths that are involved as well. I think the very popular one is do you have to be technical to be a PM? I think that's the one everybody's always talking about. 100% no, you don't have to be, because No two PM roles are the same. For every big, good, useful product you find out there, there are so many product managers that are actually making the features go live. If you go to like companies as big as, let's say, the Amazon, the Facebook of this world, some of the very small things you see on the screen is actually managed by 1 PM compared to how robust the whole system is. And that would mean there's a product manager for like the cybersecurity space. There's one for maybe like the not necessarily like design, but somebody has to lead the idea of design and linking that with the development. And you have to leverage the background. Don't forget, there are so many industries. It could be healthcare. If you study psychology, you could work probably in social care. I currently work within the social care space and healthcare and social care space. You know, if you did, let's say, mathematics, you could be working on ed tech, engineering, you know, and that doesn't really make you technical in the sense of development. You know, if you maybe you have background in marketing, you'd be working in maybe e-commerce, SaaS, you know, that kind of space. So you don't necessarily have to become a technical person to become a product manager. But these days, I'm very aware that the market is really demanding for technical PMs. But it boils down to how you're able to sell yourself, because as a PM, you will never have to code. But I would believe most companies are actually worried about the fact that when they onboard PMs, you might spend the first 6 months not even understanding what's going on. So you need to have an idea of maybe some of these words they're actually speaking about, things like that. That's why they're actually worried about you being technical. But if you're able to sell yourself as a solution provider, as a curious person, and that you're coachable, you know, then that shouldn't be a problem, I would suppose. Right. PM role, I think I mentioned it earlier. Most people will see PM role as an entry-level job. That's why you're complaining about lack of opportunity. It is a senior role. It is a management role. And that would mean you have to sell yourself in a particular way. You have to be a problem solver. You have to be a leader. You have to, in yourself, understand your leadership style. And you need to know the kind of leadership style that is in demand in the market. You know, there are some leaders called transformational leaders. You have authoritative leaders, and there's one they call authentic leaders. You can go read about it. The world is in demand of authentic leaders these days. You don't have to shout to be anybody's boss. You don't have to breathe down anybody's neck to be their boss. All you have to just do is be warm, solve their problem, manage their capacity, coach, lead by influence. You know, that's what the market is in demand of. So you need to kind of understand yourself. What kind of leader are you, and what industry do you think you kind of manifest best? So yeah, bear in mind it's a management role. Package yourself as a manager, as an experienced person, as a brilliant person, as a curious person, right? And that thing would be, how many things do you really need to know to become a PM? Trust me, I believe if you get to a point you realize you think you know enough, because you can't know everything. No matter what you know, when you land that role, you realize you don't know anything, right? Because it's not a matter of context, and what you are bringing is framework. A good example would be, let's say you're working at Uber and you did an amazing job at Uber, you understand the transport terrain, and everything is marvelous, you know, in that space. Now you're looking at a different opportunity, and you are now working with, let's say, GT Bank. Now all they are talking about is accounting and transaction and some other things I don't even have an idea of, right? Now you have to be very conscious of yourself to have a healthy relationship with imposter syndrome, saying, I got here because I'm capable and I'm willing to learn, you know. So you need to know you don't have to know everything. Be ready to dive into a conversation that you don't really know much about. But all you have to do is you have to pilot conversations, lead the room, asking the right questions. At the end of the day, don't forget, you are not the one that's going to do the development. You are not the one responsible for, you are the one responsible for the final output. However, you are not the one that's going to deal with the task. If you get what I mean, there are developers that are meant to do those things. Your duty is to give them clarity as much as possible. You need to be the one to kind of define what they need to work on right now, what they are working on next. And you need to be the one to understand why they shouldn't be working on it right now, and what they should be picking up based on the priorities you kind of determine within your domain. Right. I'll add one. AI will take your job. Everybody has said the answer. AI will not take your job. AI will take jobs of people that don't use AI. You need to have a healthy relationship with AI. I can't imagine having to write user stories in this age and spending 2-3 days working on user stories. You are wasting your boss's resources. Use AI, write it within 10 minutes, correct it, you know. Use AI to kind of get things done faster. This is one of the easiest time in the world to come up, create portfolio. Everything we're speaking right now is English. Go and say, what have you built in the last 4 weeks, like 8 weeks? Document this and use AI to kind of create a robust document, tweak it to speak to the reality of what you did on the job. And you have a portfolio within the next 48 hours if you review it as fast as you can. You know, it's not really that hard. This last one, and I think I want to just entertain questions so I can kind of rest a bit. I'll just give you this one. Prioritization is your superpower as a PM. You need to learn how to say no with grace. And it's not no because you feel like saying no. You need to be able to say no based on the data you're able to collect, based on the level of information you have, based on your there's this document racking my head right now for it. Feature or product sign-up documents. If you agree with your key stakeholder to say we are going live with this particular feature, let's say the next 2 sprints, then you have to kind of, if they tell you to kind of, oh, can we have this? Can we integrate this or integrate that? And you know it's not going to work in favor of your team or in the favor of the product in itself. You need to be able to kind of turn back to them in the nice way possible, quoting the sign-off document saying, oh, we signed this off and it's going to take the next 4 weeks to get this done. Once we are done with this, we can then review our backlog and see if we're able to pick up your request next. You need to learn how to say no. They employed you to say no. They might act as though they just put you here to manage the team, but you are there to kind of more like create like more like ring fencing around the development team. And don't forget, the more trust you're able to get from your development team, the more efficient you will be as a team, you know. But if they are used to you just being pushed around and saying, oh, God said we should change this, head of IT said we should remove this, they might just not trust you. And it might affect their velocity because they might just be bothered that you can give them a go ahead to work on the feature and come back the next minute to tell them, oh, that's no longer viable, let's face a different direction. There's a difference between being agile with your mindset and you be standing your feet down and making data-driven decisions and seeing your features ship at the allotted time, you know. So you need to learn how to say no. You need to be a genius when it comes to your prioritization framework. I would like to believe you should be ready to start applying for a job if only you know about 7 to 10 prioritization framework in your head already. Kano metrics, weightless scoring, RISE, eyes, Moscow. By the way, I don't like Moscow. Please don't ask me why. Even if you ask me, I'll tell you, Moscow is very basic. So yeah, there are a lot of other important framework you can actually use to kind of prioritize on any feature you're working on. No Moscow. Yeah. So a lot of things you need to know, even down to ROI. Most people don't see ROI as a prioritization framework. I will only work on if I'm working for, let's say, a B2C that we are trying to commercialize. I will only prioritize features that would either increase our return on investment or reduce risk, you know. And in that sense, there should be a scoring that should back that up, and that is the ROI framework for feature or product prioritization. Yes, I think I'll open the floor for questions. Please feel free to ask questions both inside and outside of the presentation I've given today. I'm actually here to give as much as possible clarity to you guys. If you've been struggling with anything with your interview, CV, what should you be learning, please ask and I will be happy to answer. Thank you. I'll hand over the session back to Favor so she can actually pile up the questions and answering session. Thank you. Over to you, Favor.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph, for such a wonderful session. Okay. So, if you have questions, you can raise your hands up or you can drop it in the chat session. Questions, please. Yeah. Or you can unmute yourself and just talk directly. Anyone?
Right, Precious.
Okay, Precious.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Please
All
go
right,
ahead,
you can go
Precious.
ahead, Precious.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, thank you so much, Joseph. That was fun. A lot to take in, but thank you. I quite understood everything. So my question would be, from what you said about the market or stakeholders looking out more for technical PMs, just so that they are sure that you kind of know how to balance the whole thing in technical regard as much as possible. So for a person who just is a product manager in the basic form, do you advise the person probably goes to take it for that into the technical aspect, or are there other aspects of being a product manager, for example, growth PM and others that you probably would suggest that you could take up
Um,
to better stand the chance?
Precious, 1 second. I don't know. It's kind of echoing, and I'm actually losing a lot of things you're actually saying. I don't know if it's from Favor. Favor, do you
Oh,
mind
okay.
muting
Sorry.
for a second?
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Okay, so sorry about that. Can I go ahead now?
Favor, can you mute, please?
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. Precious, let's go.
All right. So
Oh,
I'll go again.
yeah.
Thank you again for the session. So my
You're
question
welcome.
is in regard what you said about the market and stakeholders and all that, having to look more into people who are coming in as technical PMs, just so that they can have a better understanding on how to manage the team. I mean, if you have a
Yeah.
technical experience, it helps you better to understand the whole things around the technical aspects. So for a person who is just a product manager, that's not a technical product manager, based on how the market is, how do you suggest the person can position better, or do you advise maybe taking extra maybe or courses, or have better understanding in other aspects, maybe as a growth PM or data PM or something, just to stand a better chance?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question.
You're
And
welcome.
it goes into like a different direction. So I'll give you like 3 types of PMs as attainable in the market, right? So we have like domain knowledge PM, we have technical PMs, and we have strategic PMs, right? Domain knowledge will be the fact that if you studied education, you'll be able to kind of work properly with a team that is actually building something around edge tech. If you maybe studied medicine or something around health, you will be a very strong PM and you'll be perfectly suited for a team or that is building something around healthcare space. So if you are struggling with the technicality of things when it comes to like coding and maybe data and all these fancy technical things, you can kind of look for opportunities around your domain knowledge. So Precious, what did you study in uni? Or yeah, what's your background?
Yeah, I have a background in mathematics.
Of course, I think I made the example of what you could do around mathematics. And I think you will do well around, let's say, engineering and stat related stuff or ed tech, right?
Okay.
So
Did you
you
say ed
should
tech?
focus.
That's education, right?
Yeah, yes, educational technology, yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah, or data driven spaces. What you could do is just have complementary skills. If you have any idea of maybe data engineering, BI, and all these insights kind of skills, that should be very useful for you, and you'll be a very strong candidate in that space, right? So if you're actually struggling with the technical side, focus more on your domain, right? Myself, I studied business administration in my undergrad. So I'm more of a strategic PM, but over time I've actually earned other skills, but fundamentally I'm a strategic PM, right? So the next person, did I answer your question, Precious? Any follow-up
Yes,
questions?
please. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I'm seeing if you can drop your hand, Precious. Hi,
Hello,
Ifeoluwa.
good evening. Oh,
Oh, okay, who's
oh,
speaking, please?
okay. So who is speaking now? Me or
Oyinlola.
Oyinlola? Okay, okay, Yeah, all right. because my battery will soon go off, and I want to ask my questions. Good evening, everyone,
Hi, good evening.
and thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. Like, I learned so much. I must say, I learned so much I joined from the beginning, and I'm glad I joined because I did not want to join initially. Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome.
this is my question. Now, I have a background in travel, tourism, and hospitality, and that's what I do like for a living. I'm very, very good with it. I understand it so well. I studied it in school, and I've been practicing for almost 4 years now. I also love this tech, product management. That's why I did product management. So now, the thing is, I want to merge the two together, and I don't want to omit any of them. I want to do the two at the same time, and I don't know how to do it. So all the things I've been doing in product management, I'm looking for a way to like put it in tourism and hospitality too, so that it will work hand in hand. So I don't know what you can advise me on, or better way to do those things, so that I'll not neglect any of the knowledge I have in both.
Interesting question. And I have a bespoke answer for you. And I think the answer might just be useful for only you, right?
Okay, sir.
I don't know if you've heard anything around revenue management before.
No, sir.
Good. You should be reading and learning about revenue management, because your niche is very unique. I'm a little bit informed about your niche, which is hoteling, traveling, and tourism as a whole, and it's not just limited to this industry alone, it's also applicable to airline,
Yes,
it's
sir.
not like holidays and things like that. But
Yes,
what
sir.
revenue management does for you is this. I'll just explain it in layman terms. If you try to book holiday if you try to book, let's say, either holidays or flights for next year, February, the price might be cheap, right?
Yes, you're right.
And if you try to book for December, the price might be a bit more expensive.
Yes, correct.
Why do you think it's expensive?
It's because of the period of your booking. December is holiday period, and flights are always very expensive because everybody wants to travel. And also the fact that it's closer to now. If you are booking December holiday by now, it will be cheaper than you booking it for February. It will be sorry, don't let me mix it up. What I'm trying to say is that if you book for February now, it will be cheaper because it's still very far. And
Good.
I'm sure many people will not want to book February trip by now. So you have different choices to make.
Good.
And also, okay, continue, sir.
So here's the thing. You've explained like the fundamental like logic to these things, but
Yes,
there's
sir.
a much deeper reason for some of these things.
Yes,
Events
sir.
actually influence the reasons why some of these prices go up. Climate, availability, bed space that are actually available. Most of these I've actually mentioned is within your domain when it comes to like hospitality and tourism and travel. Go learn
Yes.
about revenue management, because that's one skill that is highly required for you to be a PM when it comes to like if you want to work within aviation, travel, or hospitality.
Okay,
You
sir.
understand? So
Yes, sir.
revenue management is the way of selling non-perishable products.
Okay.
I think it's perishable products in a non-perishable way. More like
Yes.
if you have hotel rooms, like you have 10 hotel rooms right now. Some days they are expensive, some days they are not expensive, right? You
Yes.
see the reason based on the data you have and your knowledge within this domain to say, oh, because of this event that is happening, we are going to be decreasing the price. Let's build features that will understand the algorithm of demand. Because
Okay.
we have background in travel and tourism, if you go learn about revenue management, you'll just be hot cake in the market. And I'm not trying to big you up, is what it is,
Thank you
But
so much.
revenue management is that link you're looking for is revenue management. You can read about it and you have all your answers. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So I also have one more question, please.
Okay.
Okay, I also learned recently that in your career journey, it's always nice you have a mentor or someone that is on the same career path. I don't know if you have anyone in mind or someone that you think I can just that indirectly like check some few things so that I can learn from.
Are you active on LinkedIn? If yes,
Yes.
enter DMs and just be ready to be patient. A lot of people are actually busy. PMs that
Yes.
are actually engaged are very busy. They should
Yeah.
reply you in a couple of days and write everything all at once. I've been following your work. I have this, and I want to learn this from you. And they
Okay.
should have this support. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Over to you, Felwa.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Joseph. Thank you so much for that session. I'm very blessed.
You're
I've been
welcome.
following you on LinkedIn for a long time, and we are grateful for people like you who could, basically tell us what we need to hear, not another lesson entirely. So I would like to contribute to what this person asked. Somebody mentioned something about volunteering role. As someone who has gotten opportunities via volunteering, I would say that you should like list up to 10 to 20 founders on LinkedIn where you'll be engaging on their post back to back, like every day. And then, so in you doing that, you are giving them an idea of your mindset, like how you think and what you think about their product, what they are building. So when they see that you are consistent, you are constantly dropping something that could be valuable to their team, they will definitely reach out to you and bring you on board. And then also, I would say that you should be active on Mr. Joseph's page. A lot of things go on. A lot of things go on in the comment section, not just his post. Yes, his posts are always top notch every time. But you see his comment section, there are some visitors that used to come right in his comment section. Please don't miss it. If you don't like that post of the day, you just scroll down to the comment section every day. Just be active. A lot of things happen in his comment section. That's why you have to be his active follower. It's going to be a blessing to you, I promise. All right, and then another contribution I would say is that you should also write about things that you are interested in, so you are not stuck in your head. You are not just saying, oh, I'll get a role someday, I'll get this someday. Be talking about it on your, not just LinkedIn, community, your network, people that knows you, your peers, on your WhatsApp status, everywhere. Let everybody know that you are now in this space. This is what I'm doing, and I would like you to, recommend me for this, open me up to opportunities around that side. It has worked for me. Yeah, that's why I am sharing. So to my question now, Mr. Joseph, yes, everybody talks about volunteering, which is good to build portfolio. So what happens when people are done building portfolio and it takes a long time to get a job? It takes a long time to even see one hiring manager to say, you, what are you doing there? Because sometimes it might be crazy. You might have a good portfolio and you have been pitching, you have been consistent, and some people are at the edge of giving up, because I'm telling you, it can be very, very crazy sometimes. So what are your advice to people that are on that edge of giving up and like, you know what, I'm done with this whole thing that these guys are talking about? How can they keep, how can they be consistent? How can they keep pushing? Have you been in that space, and what worked for you in those seasons? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. First off, follow up. Thanks for the recommendation. And this is that coming. Well, please be part of the comment section. I think you'll find a lot of interesting people. Yeah, but back to your question. Is that to kind of, I don't want to give more like words of encouragement. Instead, I would like to troubleshoot, because I think that's more useful than just encouraging with don't worry, things will be fine. What you would like to know would be there. I would like to see whoever's actually going through this. It's nice to kind of see what your CV looks like, because your CV is your first point of contact before anybody even checks your portfolio. What does your CV look like? How well did you even package yourself on your CV? Are you part of those that need to put your picture on your CV, all these 3, 4, 5 pages CV? Go and learn about the there's no particular topic to bother. There's a way CV has to be worded, and there's a mindset hiring managers or recruiter actually have when they're actually looking to recruit people. Does your current CV speak to that category? Because you need to even be landing interviews before you can start saying you're not even seeing the opportunity or not seeing the light, if you get what I mean, right? So it is very important for you to kind of say, what's your CV like? Who are you talking to? Who is speaking for you in those rooms that you can't be a part of? Don't forget, this is 2025. It is even more difficult. Meaning, if it took you 5 applications to land one interview a year ago, 2 years ago, right now you have to be writing 10 to 15 to land one interview. So it's a question of how many interviews do you have to do to land that job. So what's important is go check your CV. What's your online footprint like? Do you have like maybe a website or a blog that you could kind of put some of this, your learnings and your journeys, your journals on, apart from, let's say, the mainstream Medium and LinkedIn? Is your LinkedIn even well structured? Most of these recruiters are actually very nosy. If you apply for anything, they're going to check your LinkedIn immediately if it's on your page, if it's on your CV. Apologies. Is your LinkedIn even good? Does it even look good enough to look like, okay, I'd like to work with this person? Do you even have a likable character? If people even engage you, do they kind of enjoy your energy? Don't forget, at the end of the day, you are a PM, but first off, you are their colleague, and people only want to bring people that they feel they've got like good vibe or they are quite likable, you know, to their team. So don't forget, the key point is this: your CV is the first thing I would like to look at, or your CV is the first thing you should be looking at. Reach out to people, reach out to your mentor and say, please look at this, my CV. What do you think? Don't encourage me, tear it down. What am I doing wrong? Be plain and honest with me, be very upfront with me, and they'll tell you things that you need to improve. A lot of people are still writing CVs to show job role, not impact. People want impact. You want to be a PM and you want to make $100,000 someday, 140, 150, $200,000 yearly someday. They are not just dashing the money out, they are paying for value. Is your CV speaking to that value? Even look at your CV, we even call yourself for an interview. You know, have you seen? And also try to look out for other PMs. What does that CV look like? You know, how competitive is your CV? You know, if you can get that actually over the line, get a good CV, that then would then interest people to kind of see what your portfolio looks like. Trust me, you start landing interviews, and through the grace of God, you can then get a role as soon as possible. But don't give up. There's a lot of money to be made, though. Don't give up. That's the only word of encouragement I have for you. Don't give up. I think there's a question here. I think it's just from PM, question from education and building experience in technical programming. I'd love to know what you consider the most impactful element to include in a CV at this stage. Christy, did I answer the question? Would you like me to shed more light? Hi, Christy, are you there? Christy has a question for us in the comment section. Okay. So speaking of CV, like I said earlier, it has to be impact driven. Let me just run through what I would imagine a good CV to look like. It has to have your name. If you have any good certification that is related to the name, to the role, sorry, and it has an acronym, you know, add your acronym. Is for packaging, add it beside it. It's very good. I would like to see your phone number and your email address, not beautypearl@yahoo.com. Let it be your name. Not because of the typical Nigerian HR bias, but instead, if they are trying to even invite you for an interview and they kind of misspell your name, they can easily just type it based on the name. They misspell your CV, they misspell your email, they can just type it out based on your name. You know, let your email be very easy and very accessible. Also include your LinkedIn. Make sure your LinkedIn is good. You should have nothing less than 500 connections on your CV. Anything less, you are just scribbling on the surface. So I won't lie to you. 500, you know. Also, I would like to see your professional summary that should kind of outline your skills, your experiences, the places you've worked, the impact you've made. Did you help the company save £100,000? Did you help build their user base from 0 to 100,000? Are you very strong from building from 0 to scale of 100? What did you do? Speak of the numbers. See, your CV is not, in 2025, it's not just CV, it's a bragging document. Brag very well. Brag very well. Let them fear to even call you. That's the idea, because other people are bragging. That's why they're not actually shortlisting you. So brag properly, right? I would like to also see the, what's it called? Your soft and hard skills. So there are some very basic soft and hard skills I would expect every PM to have, because some people tell you ATS. I don't know if you know what's the full meaning of ATS. If anybody knows the full meaning of ATS, please type it out. But what it does is it's just more like a computerized way of extracting CVs that are aligned to any job you apply for. And what the ATS does is this: it picks some particular keywords on CVs, then it then says, okay, this person is actually closely aligned to the role. I would expect you to have things like stakeholder management, to have things like the tools you've worked on, DevOps, Jira. Don't just include, some teams work with DevOps. DevOps is powered by Microsoft. Some teams use Jira, powered by Atlassian. And what's it called? It could be Trello. You need to write all these key things that you actually bring to your team: empathy, authentic leadership, those nice keywords, you know. After that, I would like to see a bit of your soft skills. Just write it very small. Then your key achievements. There's this application tracking system. Thank you so much, Akinola. Now there's this part, it's called key achievements. All the things you've done in your career, be it 1 year experience, 5 years experience, 10 years, I would always like to see your key achievements. And that is where you have to brag the most. That's where you have to let them know that you have to be in that interview. They must call you. Most people don't even include that key achievement. By the way, most of these recruiters or hiring managers don't have time. There's a research that says each recruiter spends average of, I think, 5 to 7 seconds glossing through CVs. Can you convince them to schedule that call within 7 seconds? And that is why that your key achievement is important. If you are not able to reach through your job experience, from the places you've worked, they should just be able to kind of pick that up through your key achievement. So I would think everybody in this room going forward should have key achievement section in their CV. Then write your job experience on other roles there. However, it should be impact driven. You should write it as key contributions, not just saying I documented the PRD, I did the stand-up, I led the implementation. No. You led a team of 7 to achieve XYZ in so time. You reduced the overhead or the cost of ARR. Is it ARR? No, that's not an return on investment. You shall reduce like the overhead cost, the bounce rate on a particular feature. You need to itemize these things, and these are the things that will speak to your value, that will then make them invite you for the interview. Then the final part will be this, and this is very important. This is one I can hack anyways. If you've got, let's say, 1 year experience and you only have your BSc, I would expect you to write your BSc. That's the course of study, the school that you did it, and the year you passed out of the uni. Underneath, you write something called relevant modules. Then you have to kind of write modules that you did that is relevant to management. Mathematics will have something to speak to management. Tourism and hotel will have something to do with management. Itemize things that you think is very aligned to the role that you did as a course. However, if you now have master's degree, or you now have 2 or 3 master's degree, then or your PhD, then you don't need to write all those things, because of course it's taking a lot of space already. Your master, the course you did and whatever. But if it's just 1 year experience, which I would believe a lot of people here would have maybe between 1 to 3 years experience, write the relevant modules you did while you were studying that course. It is very important. And after that, if you have any key certification, please include it. Include it underneath. You don't need to put references available on request. That's outdated. You don't need all of those things. If you pass the interview, they will tell you to bring your referees or references. So you don't need all of those. Yes, I've spoken a lot. Christy, did I answer your question? Any question from you on that? Does anyone have any follow-up question to what I just answered? In the absence of any other question, I'll be going to Akinola. Your hand is still up. You have any other question? It's like I can't hear you.
Yes, I have, but they're just small questions that won't take time. Thank you so much, Ife, for that. I really appreciate. So my question is, Mr. Joseph, if you were to like start afresh, like people like us like this, what are you going to do differently? Maybe on LinkedIn, or how you position yourself, maybe for recruiters to see you. And also, like, what kind of books would you recommend for us to read too? Because I think I just started reading recently, like this year. I'll be big on books. And one thing that actually like marvel me is, I don't know, you should know me now, Mr. Joseph. You should know me.
I know you.
Yes, that's
I know if I as well from LinkedIn, but I didn't want to kind of sound too familiar, so everybody can actually feel like we're all on the same page.
No, you should know me. I was on that text commented that it's been a while, I've been this and that. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. So I wanted to ask that, how exactly like do you get this value? You can teach us how you show up on LinkedIn and you show up with so much value and so much essence like that. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I think your first question, if I'm supposed to start at first today, what would I do differently? Right? I think I mentioned all of those things. First thing is I'll try to get my LinkedIn up to 500 connections. Very important. Right? because it's one of the things that the recruiters will look out for to kind of interact with me. I won't go on the journey alone. I will have an accountability partner. I'll be a part of a strong community. Also, I would also be under the tutelage or guidance of a mentor because they've worked the part, so I would be under tutelage of one. Because you always need people to kind of review, be it your CV, be it your interview questions, a lot of things like that, just to make sure you're actually on track, you know. And you need people to speak for you in rooms that you won't be a part of. To say, oh, I know this one person, she's very reliable, brilliant, very strong product sense, things like that. And you need people like that to speak for you in those rooms, right? Also, I would learn a lot. I'll be very academically sound when it comes to project and product management, right? And then that would include knowing a lot of frameworks, the agile, the Kanban. How is it applicable? What industry should I be applying this? Where should I be applying that? Right? Also, I would also understand AI plays a very huge role. So I won't spend a lot of time having to craft things from the very beginning. Things like portfolio and the likes. I'll leverage AI a lot. Ask the right questions, put the right prompts, and kind of guide the output for that. Most of the efforts that you need to kind of put into like job market today will be improving your interview skills. It is no longer interview these days, it's now a competition. If you wait like 2 hours before you apply for a particular job, trust me, you see 100+ applications. And how do you kind of stand out among the 100 people? You know, one of the key ways would be this kind of sessions, learning from people that have actually worked the part, and also you actually doing the work and applying sporadically. You know, I would say if you're looking at landing any job anytime soon, that would mean you have a perfect CV today. I'm not saying you think it's perfect or you've shown it to like people that are actually on the road and I said, oh, this is really good. I think I love what you did here. You know, correct this, adjust that. If you have that perfect CV, your portfolio is good, you're academically sound, you're already doing interview prep, you should be applying to nothing less than 10 job vacancies every day. It sounds like it's impossible, but that's what the job market is saying. And I'm not saying LinkedIn one click apply. I mean, like you're going to job portals and apply properly. You know, that's one of the ways you can land a job in this day and age. You know, I would also leverage my background. I won't be applying for a job that are saying 5 years experience in computer engineering or computer engineering background is preferable. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. If you go into the interview, you sound and look funny. Look out for opportunities that is very aligned with your strengths. When you see things that work for you that are within your capacity, you will know. You know, but don't give up on some other interesting ones. But at the same time, focus more of your energy on things that you know that, oh, I can perform very good here. You know, do things that make you shine brightest. Journal is always very important. Interact with people. LinkedIn is one good social media. Twitter is actually not bad. X is not bad. Yes. So that's my answer. Did I skip anything? Did I answer a question, Akinola?
Yes, I think it remains the book and the showing up on LinkedIn.
Okay, showing up on LinkedIn. Well, AI is actually very important because you have to schedule some of the things you write because you have proper work to do. You understand? You need to know, okay, this is the kind of value I try to dish. Journal every day. What am I learning today? What did I learn on the job today? What do I want to teach people tomorrow? What are the questions people actually reach out to me to kind of get clarity for? You know, you need to kind of say, okay, people asking this kind of questions, people need clarity on this. Dish out value, have this mindset of no gatekeeping, no, just give it all out. Value attracts value. The more value you give, the more valuable to kind of flock around you, and you people can actually kind of grow together. So showing up, you kind of have an idea of what you want to post. If it's one post per week, you can kind of write all your posts, 2 weeks post within 1 day. Know the value you're trying to dish out. Break it down into like, let's say, season or episodes or things like that. If you have your titles that will last for the next 2 weeks, use AI to kind of back it up, write it properly. Then in the morning you kind of post it, or you can kind of schedule it. Then what you have to do is just follow up on the post you've made. So that is the arc. There's no magic or anything involved. Yeah. And also you have to engage on that post though before they can engage on your own. So you need to learn how to. So the world is not just dancing around you. you interact with people, then they interact with yours, and before you know it, you start growing this kind of very strong community, right? Talking about books, I will recommend two. One is around PM, and the other is around project. So the first one I would recommend is for you to read is Cracking the PM Interview. You know, so I think the book, I've forgotten the name of the author, but that's, you can write it and check on Google anywhere you can find it. So Cracking the PM Interview is actually a very good one. It's more like they're speaking to you. It is super realistic. It's like you have a mentor that's speaking to you, breaking everything down for you. So Cracking the PM Interview is a very good one for you to read. The other one is it's called the PM book. That's project management. So this time around, it's not product anymore, it is project management. Why is that? I feel project is more robust compared to product. The more you grow your career, you start seeing the need to kind of have more knowledge around project generally. So read the it's called PM book, Project Management Institute provided framework and guide. If you are a good project manager, you definitely do well as a product manager, I believe. So read those two and you will do amazing. Thank you. I think Favor, are you still on the call? How many minutes do we have to go? We've stayed a little longer than we expected.
Okay. I think we can still, let's take like 5 more minutes just to answer all questions.
Okay. Okay, let me ask Oyin Lola to go first before I read Esther's question in the comment section. Let's be as fast as possible. Hi, Oyin.
Oh, sorry, I already asked my question. You've
Oh,
answered.
amazing. Great.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so right. Please, Mr. Joseph, for me that studied zoology and currently work as a marketer, where will you advise me to start as a pro? You're already a marketer. Explore product management and product marketing. So you will be more of a strategic product manager. You can bring your market insight knowledge into the team you're actually leading. You know, the zoology is actually nice. A lot of people actually even studied some other interesting courses that is not even anywhere close to product or tech, and they're actually working and doing fantastically well within the product space. So you could leverage your experience correctly as a marketer. I would like to know if you can actually give me an answer to that in the comment section as well. What product do you currently market? And in what actual capacity? You know, if you are currently, let's say, working for let's say OP as a marketer, I would believe you are very good when it comes to creating commercialization plan, strong knowledge of creating a proper roadmap, media buying, and all of these interesting things. All right, okay, I'm coming. PM interview. Right. So I would believe you you have experience in marketing space. So what you can do is just stay within your industry, since you understand the terrain and you understand the markets. You have this end-to-end visibility of the product. That's what you do within the business and interacting with the end user. You can leverage that market experience and land in your next role. Yeah. So thank you so much, Esther. Over to you, Favor.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on tonight's product session. And thank you very much, Mr. Joseph, for this wonderful sessions. Please let's appreciate Mr. Joseph with our favorite images. Okay, so I'm sure we have all learned 1 or 2 things in tonight's session. And yeah, I think Mr. Joseph, someone said it in the chat that you should drop your LinkedIn profile. I think someone mentioned that.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll drop the URL.
Okay, so okay, I think I'll just wait a bit for you to do that before I wrap up the session.
Right.
Okay. All right. So thank you once again, everyone. And this is where we call it a wrap. So product session is a time for us to learn more about product management. And I'm sure we have all learned 1 or 2 things tonight. So join us again next week. Same time, same link. Yes, we are here for you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, good night, everyone. Bye.